There we go. All right, ladies, this is your 100K Think Tank Circle. We are excited to have you here today. Yeah, whoop, whoop. That's good, Sonia. It's like a whoop, whoop, coming on the train. So I asked Jen about 3 minutes ago if she would share with us, instead of the typical, how do you break through the 250K mark? How do you make best use of your power partners? Like, what are the keys to success? The top 2 or 3, whatever she feels like inspired to talk about, keys to success for having success with your power partners. So, Jen, take it away.
Oh, what's that song? Is that, Sailing Away? I was going to go into Christopher Cross, but I won't.
Sail away. Thank you.
So I'm going to use an example, and I'm going to do a shout out to Justine Beauregard, because we had a power partner call last week. And here's my number 1 tip. Don't expect shit in return. Be there to provide value. Quit expecting that they're going to send all these clients to you. I'm not saying you're doing this, but what you want to do is move away from transactional into nurturing those relationships. And I think everybody knows that, but I too can get caught up in, yeah, but I've sent them like 7 clients and they haven't sent me 1, which doesn't get you anywhere. And here's the beauty of that. So last week, Justine and I had a call. I can see myself talking and I hate that. So thank you for spotlighting me. And I'm going to try to ignore seeing my own face. Okay. So Justine and I had a call last week, and I had just come back from Lori Handler's wedding, and I was exhausted. And I came back with the flu. I'd been traveling. This month of November is the first month I'm home the whole month. The only other month this year has been May. So I was traveling 10 out of the last 12 weeks, and I was sharing with Justine, like, I'm tired, I'm on Dayquil, blah, blah, blah. I think I was supposed to go to my aunt and uncle's this past weekend. I think I'm going to call them and see if they want to move it. And she was like, why are you calling them? Sounds to me it would make a really big difference if you just rescheduled. And that it scared me to do that, because as the raised people pleaser that I am, I didn't want to put anyone else out, and I didn't want to make them upset, blah, blah, blah. But when it really came down to it, I was living on Dayquil and NyQuil last week. I was sick. And so that night I called my aunt and I was like, I need to reschedule. I'm not feeling well. And she goes, oh, me neither. Because she had some crystals she gets vertigo all the time. So it was the perfect thing. And Justine and I had a power partner call, and it really was to support one another in whatever way we needed it. And if there was a continued conversation for business, great. But Justine, it made all the difference for me. Like, I'm going to get teary-eyed thinking about it, because I got to stay home and take care of myself. And it wasn't scary at all. My aunt and uncle were like, fine, we're going to reschedule it for December. So don't expect anything in return. But I think the other piece of it is I always say to people, what can I do for you? Right? On this call, like, who can I send your way? What are you up to? What are you working on? And they'll ask me the same. So right now I'm filling my retreat. So I give them that link. I think I gave it to Justine and said, if you come across, and this is going to lead me to my point number 2, any women executives in male dominated industries like VP and above, who you think would benefit from building community, crafting a vision, and doing hardcore skills training, I'm going to give you this link. Please, please send them my way. That leads me to my second thing, which is when we start our businesses, we have a tendency to want to do everything for everyone. And I went through a whole phase where I was working both with executives and entrepreneurs, and spent 2021 beating my head against the wall. I've been in the names 2 years, hadn't gotten to 250 yet, kind of beating my head against the wall and spending money I didn't need to spend, trying to figure out how to market to both. And I think it was last year, Megan, or maybe it was, I think it was last year. I'm like, you know what? Here's the deal. Who I love serving are women executives in male dominated industries like tech and broadband and aerospace. And I want them to feel at home with themselves. They deal with imposter syndrome, gender bias, et cetera. As soon as I did that, I literally landed 3 clients. And one of those clients you probably saw my post in the names, where I got a 6-figure contract for next year. And I had my highest grossing month ever of 40K in September, because it's an ongoing relationship. And I'm just going to come back to, the more you can niche, and it can be scary, the better off you are. So those are my two things.
Oh yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll just say, brilliant. You had the third point in there was know your ask and have it ready.
Yeah, that
And
was my third point. Right. I had three. Know
yeah,
your ask. Exactly.
yeah,
Yes.
totally.
Thank
You
you.
did that.
Yes.
And
And
the ask is something that we work on the study halls. So if you don't know what your ask is, come to a day in study hall. We'll help you develop that because it is worthless. Sorry, but if you waste that question of what can I do for you, it's worth it if you waste that question. So if Trisha asks you, what can I do to help you or support you? And you say, oh, nothing, I'm okay right now. I don't really have anything. I don't really, that's not going to help you. And it's certainly not going to help Trisha, because when we ask that question, it's because we genuinely want to help. And when you say, I don't really have anything, all that tells me is, sorry, but lazy.
well, not just that, Megan, can I chime in? You're not thinking strategically.
No.
You're not looking at how to leverage those conversations. It's kind of like a friend chat, which is great because sometimes I have people in the names. I'm like, I just need a friend chat. Like I'm having happy hour with Iris on Monday with wine and just chit chatting because we haven't spent time together in a while. But when somebody says that to you, and I've been on the receiving end of, I don't have anything right now because you think you're being the bigger person and let me just pour into you. However, that is like being invited to someone's house for dinner and you show up at the door. If you're like me, because I'm a Jew and can't go, empty handed. I'm sure everybody's like that. If you're a Catholic, whatever, you got to go with something in hand. It's like having flowers and a bottle of wine or whatever, or a plant. And they open the door and they're like, you can come in, but leave that shit in the hall. It's a little like that. It's a little like not accepting the gifts that we are for one another.
Yes. And sometimes it's just a fact of the matter that we don't know what it is that we need, and that's okay. But we can take the time to figure that out. And your power partners can be great at helping you get clear on what that ask is. So
Exactly.
awesome. Beautiful. Thank you, Jen.